Left Unsaid originally premiered in Santa Fe, New Mexico. It was created on Aspen Santa Fe Ballet in 2003, so it's almost 10 years old. And subsequently, the Gothenburg Ballet in Sweden has performed it, Ballet Austin has performed it, Oregon Ballet Theater has performed it, and now Oklahoma City Ballet will perform it. Yeah. Left Unsaid does hold a special place for me, partly because it's one of my most successful ballets. It's been done this will be the 5th company doing it, so it's been seen in many different countries actually. So it's been seen a lot, and it's in my most successful work, I guess. But when I created it, it was the beginning of a new process for me. There was something very interesting about the way I worked on Left Unsaid, where it brings back a lot of special memories, and so yeah, it does have a special place in my heart. I mean, I love it. I think it's quite successful. Not being boastful, but I think, you know, audiences really like it, and I'm satisfied with it artistically as well. So. So it's a success on those 2 levels, and critically as well. So it is a kind of special work for me. I mean, as a choreographer, when you look at your work being done on many different companies, I mean, it's interesting. I actually like it a lot, you know, with the expectation that the company is going to perform it well. But there's always, you know, little subtle differences in the way people approach the movement or the musicality, and then sometimes not so subtle differences. I mean, sometimes it's just really, it looks different. And I also usually make allowances, you know, for different dancers. You know, sometimes a certain movement comes very easily to a certain dancer, and then you're going to set that movement on a different dancer in a different company, and it's a complicated task for that dancer, and they can't figure out how to make it work. And if it's just taking too much time, and then I say, well, you know, this might work better for you, and it doesn't actually compromise the artistic integrity of the work, then it doesn't really matter to me. We go ahead and make those adjustments so each individual starts to feel very comfortable in what they're doing, so they can make it their own. Because ultimately that's the most important thing, that, you know, each company makes the ballet their own by investing deeply in the work, and then, you know, that it's becomes second nature to them, so they can actually start to really express the essence of the work and the spirit of the work. But you have to do that through the physical, you know, manifestation of it first. And it's interesting how different companies approach the same movement, you know. I guess it's something comparable to just, you know, having a poem and somebody reciting it, and then, you know, this person will have, you know, will place emphasis on that verse, and, you know, the next person will choose differently and, you know, intone differently, and so on and so forth. So, I mean, dance is like that. I mean, many people think it's just their physicality, but I think it has a lot more to do with people's imaginations and how it manifests itself through movement. My choreographic process actually changes from piece to piece. I mean, within reason, you know, there's a certain, I mean, it's me, so, you know, it's not like it's a radical change. But like I had said earlier, Left Unsaid in particular was, one of the things why it's a special piece for me was that I started to change a little bit the way I worked, in so much as I had chosen the music. It was this, you know, the solo Bach violin pieces, but I started the whole process without music. And for me, that was really a radical change. I mean, I'm always influenced by music. So music is a big part of it, and music does inspire me. So sometimes it's just the music, and I say, oh, I hear this piece of music and I have to choreograph to it. With Left Unsaid, it wasn't like that. I mean, I loved the music and it inspired me, but I was much more interested in developing theatrical little short stories, so to speak, within how the piece is structured. It's in 5 movements. And I wanted those stories to develop through the dramatic moments that I was creating with the dancer, so it wasn't dictated by the music. And that was really interesting to me. And I think one of the only types of music that you can do that with is Baroque, which is, you know, Bach is Baroque music. Baroque is so wide open, it kind of works with everything. You know, you can do almost anything and then put Baroque music on and it's gonna be beautiful. It works, it adapts somehow, and you can bend it and mold it to your desires, which is great. So that was really new for me with Left Unsaid. And I've used that again, this kind of like, let's just create an environment and then I'll put the music on. But it's not arbitrary because I listen to the music a lot and I understand the ambiance the music is creating. So, I mean, I know that. The dancers don't always know that. You know, they're like, is he ever going to put the music on? You know, and so it can be scary for them. Sometimes I'm inspired by books that I read. Sometimes it's just an image, you know. I close my eyes and I see red skirts and I don't know where that comes from. And then I, you know, develop a work where the costuming is like red skirts or something like that. You know, it's different each time. I don't think any one thing inspires me more than the other. It really depends on my mood and, you know, where I am at that given moment. I mean, dancers do inspire me. That's for sure. And the more I know a company, in order to create new work, the better I think the work can be, because you actually start envisioning that specific person in a specific role. And that's very important. You know, when I did my first full-length ballet in Gothenburg, Sweden, it was based on the life of Tchaikovsky. And there were like 5 principal characters. And I don't think I could have generated all that material and really had such a successful work had I not known the dancers very well to, you know, develop and get these characterizations out. I mean, it's very hard to do that with people you don't know. And I don't mean like on a personal level. I mean, well, I guess also on a personal level, but, you know, as dancers, as artists, you know. So that dancers can be very inspiring as well. Yeah. Working with the dancers at Oklahoma City Ballet has been great, fantastic. Going much faster than I thought it would. So they're, you know, very adaptable to new movement and they seem open to it. I think Left Unsaid is a bit of a challenge for them. I mean, but it's going really well. I think they're very versatile and strong. But it's been great. I mean, it's actually going very fast. I mean, Left Unsaid, even though it's one of my calmer works, it requires a very deep kind of physicality. I like huge positions, but with no tension. So you have to learn how to be, you know, big and maintain a very soft quality, which is challenging because it's kind of going against type. And they've, you know, been very eager, you know, to do it. So, and it's an intense process because, you know, Left Unsaid is in 5 sections. So I work intimately, like with pas de deux and trios. And there's only one section in the ballet that involves all 6 dancers. So, you know, it's, you know, me and them, and it's pretty intense, you know. So, but it's been great, really, really great.